Hey everybody, it's Flyin Ryan here with a review of the Hubsan X4 Desire, aka H502E. Now this is a lot like the H502S that I just reviewed, except it does not have FPV or follow me. So instead of having the transmitter with the monitor built into it, we have just the standard transmitter here, which is like what came with their the new X4 Plus models. So this doesn't have GPS in it, so you don't have follow me mode anymore because it doesn't know where the transmitter is. There's no FPV, and it is also full-time GPS hold, so it's always in a GPS hold lock, but it does have GPS. So this is another one where it's, brushed motors, but it does have GPS and return to home, but it's always on GPS mode, which is a little weird because you do have two rates by clicking the right stick. So it has, a higher rate where you can kind of get some pitch, but it's also trying to do a GPS lock. So sometimes that GPS, wanting to hold its position is kind of fighting the high rate. So it's really weird if you try to like fly this one sporty when it's always in a GPS hold mode. But once you let off the sticks, it's gonna hold its height and hold its position and just hover there, because this does have altitude hold just like all the other recent Hubsan models that I reviewed. It is a 720p HD camera again, so not quite as good as the H501S, but still a pretty nice camera, and it is a wide-angle lens, so you get a good field of view. Let's see, let's move on to what it comes with. We've got a full set of spare props. We've got a screwdriver and some screws for attaching those props. We've got the USB charging cable here that charges through the balance port, and it is a 2S LiPo 610 milliamp hours with the JST plug. It takes about an hour and a half to charge, and you get about 11.5-minute long flights with a 30-second LVC warning. So all of that is the same as the H502S. The same hardware and flight times and everything. Really, the only difference is the GPS modes and stuff in the transmitter not having FPV. So let's go back to the transmitter. So if we click the left stick, that's going to be headless mode, just like the other versions, and then clicking the right stick now changes rates instead of turning on follow me mode. And then the right bumper here is your return to home, so it's going to return to wherever it took off from. And then the left bumper here is our picture and video. Let's see, I didn't note it, but I think if you click it, you're probably going to take a picture, and if you press and hold it, you're starting and stopping video. But it's going to tell you on the monitor here, it'll display, if you're filming or not. So I'm pretty sure it's press and hold to film. That's usually the standard. Let's check my note. It is just like the previous one. It's 150 grams, so it is under the FAA registration, so you don't have to be registered for this one, so that's nice. Again, just here, I've only got the props placed on there. I'll get those out of the way. Just like the last one, this does have a USB port in it, so you can go upgrade the firmware. I'm not sure if there's a firmware upgrade for this one or not. There may be. I think they probably upgraded all the firmware on these models to make it so that you no longer have to calibrate it on every start. But again, out of the box, just like I've said with the other ones, when you first start this one up, you've got to spin it this way until I think the transmitter has like a little display that tells you, and then you turn it this way until the transmitter tells you it's okay, and then now the compass is calibrated. You're gonna have to do that every time you fly unless you upgrade the firmware, and then I think they've made it now where it just does that once, and then if you go fly into a new area, you're gonna want to recalibrate it if you're somewhere far away from the last place you recalibrated it. It does have LEDs in the motor pods, just like the last version. We've got the front are blue and the back are red, and again, I think they blink and stuff and maybe change colors or blink to indicate the different modes that you're in. The yaw rate does change, and it's a pretty decent yaw rate, but like I said, I mean, you can't really sport fly this thing because the GPS hold constantly kind of tries to fight your movements and get it to level out and hover in place. So really weird that you can't turn GPS hold off on this one. I think, for me, that alone, I would get the FPV version because you've got more features, you got the FPV, and you can turn off that GPS hold and fly it a little bit better if you want to just fly for fun. Let's see if there's any other notes on this one. Nope, that looks like that covers it, so let's go take it out for a flight. Alright, this is the flight review of the Hubsan X4 Desire H502E. This is basically the same as the H502S, except for it does not have the FPV transmitter, and then so it doesn't have GPS on the transmitter either, so there's no follow me mode, but it still has GPS hold. This has GPS all the time though. It is always on. You cannot turn off the GPS hold, and then so you just have return to home on the right bumper, picture and video on the left bumper, 2 different rates on the right stick, and headless mode on the left stick. So it is just always in GPS lock, and which is kind of weird, especially with when you're in high rates. The GPS lock kind of fights with the high rates and doesn't want to let it keep flying fast. It keeps trying to like lock its position, so it's kind of strange. But it does have the 720 HD wide angle lens camera. And I'll go ahead and hold those sticks out to arm the motors, and then that also sets my home position right there. So when I do return to home, it should land around there. So yeah, I mean, like I said, as soon as I stop flying, it's in GPS hold, and it'll just hold its position, which is pretty cool for a brush quad to have a GPS hold. That's full stick forward on low rates. Go ahead and turn on the high rates, and that's full stick forward. Looks like the yaw rate does change a little bit. There it is on high rates, so pretty decent yaw rate, kind of get a funnel going. Yeah, flying in high rates is a little bit weird with that GPS hold sometimes. It can kind of try to fight itself. See there, it just leveled out. I'm still holding full stick forward, and it just like leveled me out. So yeah, it doesn't want to keep flying at full stick for long. It tries to lock in GPS. I mean, I'm holding full stick up, and then stop, and then full stick again. Look how much more pitch it has now all of a sudden. So yeah, kind of awkward. But this is not really meant for sport flying. This is an aerial video platform, so that's why it has GPS. Alright, well, let's go ahead and press and hold the left bumper to start video, and it is now filming. So let's get some height, test this GPS lock in the camera. Got a pretty decent breeze, so I imagine up high it's even stronger. And for a brushed gear driven quad, it's as it makes its little adjustments to hold the GPS position, it's going to be pretty twitchy, and it's not as fast to make adjustments, so probably pretty twitchy on camera, but it is holding its position really nice. Let's start a slow pan. Can't really go too slow with this. It doesn't let you. Looks like I can slow it down maybe a little bit. There we go. Pretty touchy on the yaw. I guess I am on high rates too, so there's a pretty decent slow pan. It's getting pushed around a little bit, but it's holding its position quite well. Pretty impressive to see a brushed quad do that. Man, that is really holding solid. Alright, let's press and hold the left bumper again to stop video. Let traffic pass. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and hit the right bumper. Did I hit it? Press and hold it. No, why did that not? Do I have to hold it the whole time? Why is it not returning to home? I don't understand why it's not doing return to home. Let's bring it down a little bit. That was my landlord. Why is it not returning home? The satellite button is blinking. I don't understand. Let's manually land it. We'll let it rethink things. Put it out here in the middle of the street. So now the satellite icon is no longer blinking. I mean, I tried it on low rates and high rates. I don't know why it wouldn't return to home. So let's try it again. Arm it. Get some height. Satellite is not blinking. Let's move it over here. Alright, now it seems to be working. Grabs some height and turns around and heads towards the position. That's all it, doing that on its own. Oh man. Oh, they didn't come down the street. Alright, let's try it again. Press and hold it again and restart the return to home. And now it's coming down. And again, that's all it, doing it on its own. Pretty cool for a brush quad. Looks like it's a few feet off from its spot, but not too bad. Let's move that back out into the center more and get up there nice and high again and try another return to home and see what happens. I think otherwise I pretty much showed all there is to show. Maybe fly it around a little bit more. It's doing pretty well in this little bit of a breeze I've got. Alright, let's get up there. Okay, holding its position nice there. Alright, and press and hold the right bumper, it beeps, and there it goes. Not sure why it wasn't working the other time. It looks like it worked this time. It's just about over the spot and coming down. Is this car gonna? And nope, it didn't. Dang it. Alright, restart again. Oh, and it's gonna climb again. And another car, man. There was a college football game today, so I think people are still kind of clearing out, and everybody's using my neighborhood as a little pass-through instead of bigger, busier streets. Normally nobody drives down this road. Anyway, there it is, looking like it's working this time. Doing its return to home. Go ahead and hold both sticks out to disarm it. Get out of this guy's way. Alright, well there we go. I think that was pretty much all there is to show with that one. Pretty neat to see a brush quad with GPS on it. Works quite well. I think it's pretty cool. So yeah, check the video description for price and purchase link. I thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.